Hello crafty friends, and welcome to my very first live YouTube video. Well, this is just trial and testing. We are testing the camera, the mic, and we'll also have some fun with colors. So let's get started. I will be ink blending on this absolutely gorgeous floral pattern here, which I stamped and heat embossed. Now this comes from the Build a Garden Nature's Magic stamp set, which is one of my absolute favorites and go-tos when I need anything floral. Now I'll be ink blending using my Altenew inks, and I have stamped this image using Versafine Onyx Black ink, which is a beautiful pigment ink, and I heat embossed it with clear embossing powder. I love the shine that the clear embossing powder gives to any image. Let's get started. Now this one has coordinating stencils. You could add color using your alcohol markers or pencil colors or any coloring medium that you prefer. But since we have the coordinating stencils, I thought it would be good to use them for our video today. Now this is a 4-part stencil, and we have 2 images in the stamp set, and we have used just one here, so we will be coloring this using the coordinating stencils. The beauty about Altenew stencils, they have markings on them, so you know which stencil goes where. This one has all the layers to color in the flowers, and stencil number 2 will have all the layers to color in our leaves. Let's begin with our flowers. So these stencils are pretty much easy to align, and I love having coordinating stencils, especially if I am mass producing my cards or if I'm in a rush or in hurry to color in these images. So you see here, these are absolutely easy to line up and a breeze. I'm holding my paper onto my ultra sticky mat, which will make sure that the paper does not move around when we are ink blending or getting into the coloring. Now you will see part of the panel here, it's exposed, so I don't want any of that ink to go on my panel. So the best way I love to mask it is using post-it notes. If you would prefer using masking tapes, that's a great option too, but I find post-it notes works just fine. There you go. I'll be using these little mini ink cubes. This one is the Carnival Magic set, and we will be adding some dimension to these images, so we'll be using multiple colors for that depth and absolute gorgeous dimension and color to make it feel absolutely real. I will start with one of the lighter shades, moving on to the darker tones. I have this little stamp pad here, which I absolutely love using, especially this is a magnetic pad which will stick to my glass magnet surface and it'll hold my stencil in place. If you don't have this, I also like placing my ink block on my ultra sticky mat. That does the work as well. For ink blending, I'm using my mini ink blending brushes, which is something I absolutely love. These are by Altenew. Again, soft bristles, really easy to clean and work with. I'll start with Coral Red, an absolutely gorgeous shade of reddish pink, not a very dark, intense color, which is something I absolutely love when it comes to florals. With a very light hand, since this is my first layer, with a very light hand, I will ink blend on all the petals. Now this one here, you can leave it as is, but since I will be ink blending and this image is directly stamped on my card front, I don't want to spoil it, so I might as well cover the image. We can continue ink blending. So that was layer number 1, very easy. Now all we have to do is gently peel up the stencil. I will leave the ink pad as is because we need to color the rest of the petals as well. Now the second layer of petals, actually well the first layer of petals, but the remaining petals I will be using the second half of the stencil. Again, just like we did before, this is very easy to align. I will cover any part of the stencil which I feel is exposed and might add unnecessary ink on the rest of the panel. I will also cover any part of the cardstock or my card front which is exposed and I don't want to get ink anywhere other than this stamped image. Just like I did with the first set of petals, I will go ahead and ink blend on this one as well. And with that, we are done with layer number 1 on our petals. I love how absolutely gorgeous this looks. If you want to add layer number 2, we could also use your alcohol markers or any kind of ink blending other than the second layer. But for our video purpose today, we'll keep things very simple. I will bring in my second stencil and we will color in the second layer with a darker shade of red from the same color family. This is Cherry Sweet, which is one shade darker than Coral Red. Well, it does not show here on camera, but it definitely will give you that results. I'll show that to you in a minute. Just like we did stencil number 1, I will go ahead and align the stencil. Yeah. This might take some time initially, but then once you get the hang of it, it's pretty simple. All right. There you go. I'm using the same blending brush for this color as well. Now this is definitely a lot darker than the coral red we used for layer number 1. You will see that here in a minute. Now that I'm done with the ink blending, I will remove my stencil and here you can see the color difference. The first layer which I did with the coral red is quite light as compared to the second layer for which I used Cherry Sweet. Now we can go on and color in our stems and leaves. For that, again we used the same stencil. The second half of the stencil has everything you need to color in your leaves. I'll keep my reds aside and bring in some beautiful greens. Now again, I have these mini ink cubes by Altenew. This one is the Whispering Woodland, absolutely gorgeous shades of inks. I will start with Fresh Leaf and Reindeer Moss. I will use the same set of post-it notes to cover my panel. I don't want any of that ink going out from anywhere other than the stenciled image. I will start with Fresh Leaf, which is the lighter shade of green. I have partially covered up my leaf as well. All right. This stencil also has second layers for my leaves, which makes my work so much more easier. Here you'll see the leaves just with the base layer, and now I will add in the second layer for which I'm using the shade Reindeer Moss, which is a darker tone of green, again from the same color family. I'll make sure I cover anything and everything that doesn't need ink on it. Again, using the same green ink blending brush, I will add ink on the second layers as well. And just like that, our flower is ready. Well, our card front is ready. Now, this was a very easy design. I would just go ahead and foam mount this on a regular A2 size card base. If you wanted, you could also add some splatters or sequins to complete the card. But for today, we will just be ink blending, and to see pictures and know more about the blog, more about the card, I will leave links to my blog post in the description box below. You can also check my Instagram, where I'll have more pictures of the finished card. Thank you so much for joining me today. See you until next time. Stay safe.